What it do, what it do, what it do. We in the building. We in the building once again. Loyal to the game boxing. OTB should be here any moment, but we gonna get it popping, man. What's good with y'all? No, I've been away for a little bit, but it's work time, like B House say. Salute to you, B House. I see you in the building. Salute to you guys and the y'all piling in. Salute to y'all, man. Well, yeah, it's definitely work time, man. We, you know, I could have stayed away too long once this showed up. I could have stayed away too long. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got Batman, aka Batman Forever, aka 817 in the building. Catman in the building. Salute to you. TZ Frank in the building. Salute to you, King. My brother B House. We got AJ in the building too. What's poppin', AJ?
What's going on with you?
Yeah, man, you already know, man. I can't call it. Same shit, different toilet. you know.
Yeah, what we cooking on?
Yeah, you already know, man. We talking about matchups, man. Salute to you, Lenore. I see you. I did see that somebody here on Facebook there, so I got to pull up the Facebook post to see. Uh, y'all guys at Facebook just need to click on the link. That way, I could see who's making these comments. I think that's Brandon. That's my boy Brandon Farley. Sup with you? Will Murphy in the building on the book. Oh, Wayne, that's Wayne. All right, my brother Wayne, travel guy Bailey is in the building. He said he got Bud winning. That don't shock me, man. That's what you've been saying for years, man. Salute to you. But if you go out to the actual post, there should be a blue StreamYard link that you could click on, and then your profile will pop up. That way, for me, it shows up as Facebook user. If you click on that link, it only take about a second. Your Facebook profile pic will show up, man. Lenore, you in the building? What's good with you? I gotta donate. Hold on. Don't tell me you would donate, 'cause we could donate. Hold on, I'm slipping over here. There you go. Helps it. There's a ticker right there at the bottom. Matter of fact, let me put it there, big letters for you. But I appreciate you though. Absolutely, man. A lot of stuff going on, man. Mid September, still no fight announcement. Bud finna get his ass whipped. I see that. Oh, there you go. You good, Wayne? There you go. I love a brother who can just follow simple directions, man. That's what's up. All right, let's cook for a little bit in here, man. So, a lot of stuff going on over the weekend. Uh, reports come out on. I think it's so funny. So, reports come out on Friday that Terrence Crawford has signed his portion of the contract for no guaranteed money and a 65-35 split. And Earl Spence hasn't signed his side of the contract. I mean, I didn't really even pay attention to that, to be honest, because as we all know, boxers agree to terms. It's term sheets first. They agree to terms, and then once the terms are agreed on, then the lawyers on both sides they get all the fine print together, and then the contract's one of the last things that's signed. So it sounded to me. I'm gonna tell you what it sounded like to me. It sounded like that was a that was a mastermind move by Al Heyman to overshadow that boring ass Canelo fight, Canelo and Triple G fight, and steal the thunder from their weekend. That was probably Floyd who did that shit, because Floyd. You know what? Matter of fact, it probably was Floyd, because Floyd had Fight Hype mention it as well. Because if we all remember, Floyd was like, the last time those people reported shit, he said, that shit's fake. Fight Hype don't report it, and then Fight Hype reported it, and now all of a sudden, I mean, to be quite honest, the boxing world wasn't really talking about Canelo and Triple G. once that was done. So, I mean, I don't know. I seriously doubt that that's what's going on. In terms of, I just can't see Terrence Crawford taking no guarantee. I can't. First of all, I can't see PBC doing a deal where it's the biggest fight in the entire sport and they're giving the other side no guaranteed money. I mean,
Right.
they've done stuff like this with people outside of the sport, like Conor McGregor. They gave Canelo money. I'm not saying Bud would get Canelo guaranteed money or Conor McGregor, but I don't see them giving him nothing. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean I can't buy that. And for exactly everything that Terrence Crawford's team has said for the last couple years about money and getting paid, I just can't see him accepting nothing like that. I can't see a man saying 50-50 or no fight or 60-40 my way to go in and taking no guaranteed money. I just I can't buy it. But you know, Bud fans are losing pretty bad in these last couple months. So we gotta throw them a bone now and again and let them feel good about themselves because uh it ain't been looking too good lately as a lady. Salute to you, Lenore. I didn't even see that if you did, but salute to you. Let me see. I ain't come through yet, but I appreciate you anyway, good brother. Uh, what you think about that, AJ?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't paying no attention. What you talking
Man.
about? I'm over now. I'm trying to find these screenshots, man. I got a couple niggas I gotta catch slipping right quick.
Okay, okay.
Put them on the
Cause
put them on a poster right quick,
you gonna
man.
put him on a poster. I
Yeah.
mean, cause look, I I'm not trying to start shit, but I'm trying to start shit. You feel me? I mean, I've well, AJ, we've seen footage.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah,
have
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
we have listen on everything. We have seen footage of people from Terrence Crawford's people that are close to Terrence Crawford, very close to Terrence Crawford, after that announcement was made saying that Bud told them that he was fighting and to buy their uh what don't buy it was the wildest shit this person said. He told them to buy their get their hotel but don't buy the ticket because the date isn't set yet. So I'm like, why would you buy a hotel if the date's not set? But that's what that's what I seen it with my own eyes. I see the video. I seen it. It was live. And so um I have to call it out. That was cap. All that shit over the weekend with Bernie and all that was cap. That's cap. It was cap. It was cap, man. But I mean, people can think what they want to think, but to me, none of it makes sense, and it was cap. And I feel like it was all just done to steal the thunder from Canelo and Triple G. Let me take a look here and see what's going on.
Man, you saying that some guy talking about who he say Jay-Z offered Crawford 30 million. Nigga, like what? You
I
saying that?
No, I didn't see it. What was going on?
Yeah, hold on. I gotta hold on.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, what did the numbers demand? I mean, to be quite honest, 65-35 is fair. I mean, we just talk about mathematics. We just talk about numbers. 65-35 is fair, but hey, at this point I could taste the fight, so I don't even really care about that no more. That's why the live stream is about matchups. Matchups. Yeah, yep, I remember. Salute to you, Cassandra. Always showing love and support, and definitely appreciate you. PGH, Big Dog in the house. Salute to you, fam. Larry Reynolds in the building. Salute. Yeah, man. Look, we got a hell of a fight coming up. You know, I also got confirmation uh that I put it like this. I don't like to call people names. See, because I know how to take shots at Bud fans real quick by my language. I also got confirmation that the A side of these negotiations is already making plans for the 19th. So you know, you know. So it looks like we're gonna have a fight, man. It looks like we're gonna have a fight, and this is truly this is truly a 50 fight. Uh, I I can't say it's not a 50-50 fight, but it's truly a 50-50 fight. It is a 50-50 fight. But I favor Errol Spence just based on the matchup. The way that the styles clash, and based on what I've seen out of both guys, I have to favor Errol Spence, and I would have to favor Errol Spence by stoppage too. Stoppage, not a knockout cold stoppage, but an accumulation of Kell Brook type of punishment stoppage where the ref stops it or the corner stops it. That's what that's my personal opinion. What I see, and I don't have a problem with anyone saying that Terrence Crawford is gonna win the fight because he can, and that's what makes this a great fight. That's what makes this fight overshadow the Canelo Alvarez fight, a Triple G. I mean, that was horrible, bro. I mean, I've never watched a fight with two big names like that and stopped watching the fight like in the 10th round because it was to me it was evident that Triple G himself was probably he lost about 2 to 3 steps, not a step, but about 2 to 3 steps, and Canelo Alvarez couldn't capitalize on it. He was gassing and he scored a couple clean punches, but other than that, I mean, it was nothing to be proud of to me with Canelo. Actually, actually, Canelo Alvarez to me after that performance went down the pound for pound list for me. We don't even need to talk no more about him being the number one pound for pound fighter. After after you have a loss and then a subpar performance like that, I would say that I'd have Canelo Alvarez in the bottom five, the bottom from 6 through 10 on pound for pound. I would have to go with Crawford, Spence, Usyk, Anui, and I have to give it to Jamel Charlo. I gotta throw Jamel Charlo in there based on Jamel Charlo has knocked out. He's undisputed and he stopped every person he took a belt from. I gotta put Jamel Charlo in the top five without a doubt. Take a look through some of these comments. Why had Bernie say something he could say himself? Oh, because Bernie's the hype man. They trying to sell the fight. I I just seen Terrence Crawford do an interview with Bill Bellamy. Is that like the first black person he did uh an interview with? He did an interview. He went on Bill Bellamy's podcast. I mean, I don't know who you gonna reach with Bill Bellamy and for fight fans, but I mean, hey, I mean, I tried to watch it, but Bill Bellamy was so corny that I cut the shit off. It wasn't even Terrence Crawford's fault. It was just Bill Bellamy as a host was so corny. I didn't even watch it. I tried to watch it, but I couldn't. He was that horrible. Salute whoever that is. I gotta take a look here on Facebook to see who you guys is showing me love. Make sure you guys click that StreamYard link in the post on Facebook. That way your profile will be connected with StreamYard. See who we got here. So matchups. Matchups. Uh I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and pin the actual link. I'm gonna pin the link in the chat. So give me a second. All right. All right. So it should be in the chat for Facebook, and then I'm just gonna actually just pin it. So give me a second. There you go, Lenore. There you go. What's up, Lenore?
What's going on, man?
Man, you already
How you
know I
doing?
can't call it.
Yeah, man, it's crazy how we still at ground zero. Like it's with this fight, we don't even know if it's going on or not.
Mm, I don't think we at ground zero. I think they just doing that shit to fuck with us. The fight is made, bro. The fight is made. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I hate
Go
to,
ahead.
I try not to be that person that be like, I heard, like I don't like to be that person.
Yeah.
But for a reliable source, I mean, Earl Spence people already booking their hotels and shit to go down on the 19th. So,
Okay.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Carmen. I'm a. So let me ask you a question before I get into my speech here. So, like, would you say you're a boxing insider just for really the Spence team or just boxing in general?
No, I mean I don't consider myself a boxing insider. I don't put enough energy into it. But what I will say is when you have a platform or people know you on social media for whatever you're branded as, and I don't for me, I don't put my personal business on social media like that. Very, very, very rarely do I put personal stuff. So most people know me for boxing. Pe- people will people will make connections with you, and you'll make connections with people. Some good people, some people not so good people, but you'll make connections with some people who do have insider privileges. So I won't.
The reason why I'm saying, because I'm gonna need you to be one of insider for me, man. How do we have
No,
that? Maybe we can
no,
talk offline.
I would say I would say because nothing's 100% uh in stone. Like I'm not there, but I would say probably about I'm about 95% sure that that fight's happening on November 9th.
Okay,
19th,
bet.
I mean 19th. I'm sorry, 19th.
19th, yeah. Okay, bet. We talk offline, but yeah, man. Let me my thing. Okay, listen. It's like the Bud fans are like searching for a win. It's just they gotta search
Yes,
for a win. It's
it's
like
pathetic.
yeah, it's like I mean this tit for tat has been going on for years, man. It needs to stop.
It's pathetic, broski.
It really is. I mean, it's been a tit for tat. Like one side got to, and it's both sides doing this. One side got to
Mhm.
up the other at all times.
Mhm.
It's like and what's so crazy is, okay, tell me if this makes sense. You have Bud Crawford, as prideful as he is, a guy who had a high guarantee for years. You're telling me you believe that the PBC offered him no guarantee for a fight like this? That
Mm. It
I
doesn't
just
even
don't
make
believe that.
sense. It doesn't even
That
make sense.
doesn't make sense. There's no way you're gonna convince me that he didn't accept a guarantee. Like what?
Right.
Like
That
why?
doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't even make any sense. I mean, you have no other fighter in boxing. I mean, even the fighters who are not big celebrities in boxing, they don't even accept no purse. They could be fighting every person on the undercard at least get some type of purse. So you're telling me the main event gets no purse?
Right. No guarantee. No guarantee. No guarantee money at
No
all.
guarantee.
But you know what they say? It's like the bigger the lie, the more people believe it. You know what I'm saying? So you can say something crazy and ridiculous, and people will believe it because it seems so outlandish. But
Oh my.
what I would say is that I hope both of these brothers get paid.
Yeah.
My gripe for the last couple years with the whole money situation was the fact that one side was telling the other side that it should be even when I mean just based on the business of boxing, just take them out of it emotionally. The business of boxing has always worked one way. The person who sells the most makes the most.
Yes.
So if you don't sell the most and then you say we won't give you uh we're not going to fight you because we want to get what you're getting or exactly what you're getting, but you sell way more than I do, then and then turn around and say the person's scared because they're not, acquiescing to your terms. It's like what are we talking about? But in regards to what they make, I hope both of them make really good money, great money. They're fighters, they deserve it. They're they've been basically the matchup of these two guys fighting in a way has helped carry the sport of boxing for the last couple years because if we're gonna be quite honest, Canelo Alvarez, yeah, he might be the cash cow or whatever, but he's fought a lot of lackluster competition. He's fought Terrence Crawford hasn't fought anyone as good as Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford in his own weight class. He hasn't, and
Yes.
he's had fighters. He's had fighters he could have fought that we could have said, man, this is a even matchup, but he hasn't done that. So
Yeah, the closest ones you can name, really, I mean, would be GGG, uh, Miguel Cotto, but he was old, and Arislani Laura, and they robbed him.
yeah,
So,
salute you, Queen Sheena. I see you out
so
there.
I, and then see this whole rumor started because Bernie the Boxer came out talking about this stuff, and then okay, but it seems somebody's lying here because Mike Cobbinger that morning he came up with the news, and then or I think Bernie the Boxer either came out that night or night afterwards, and came out with the news talking about how his news is that it's a rematch clause, and the A side will be the one who wins the first fight. So if in the rematch, so
Mm,
if that's the case, that contradicts what Bernie says because Bernie said that Bud would be the B side in both fights. So that whether win, lose or draw, he'll be the B side in both fights. So that means that that's a contradiction. Somebody's lying
right. I mean,
because
I
yeah,
I guess for me we could talk about that because I mean that's what social media is following and stuff, and that's kind of what's trending. But for me, I don't even care about all that gossip shit anymore. I'm at a place where these motherfuckers getting ready to fight. Like I'm
yeah,
excited about that. I don't care. Let me tell you something. Let's just keep it 100. When Earl Spence was fighting Ugas, leading up to fighting Ugas, after the Danny Garcia fight, the Manny Pacquiao fight, Crawford team was doing a lot of talking and saying a lot of stuff about him, saying they was in the ocean looking for him and all of that stuff. And Earl Spence was quiet, right? He was real quiet. He
mhm,
wasn't saying nothing. Everyone was talking all this shit. And then we saw when he popped up for his media workout what he looked like, and then we saw what he did to Ugas.
mhm,
So I'm seeing the same pattern going on. Earl Spence ain't talking, he's working.
yep, yep.
He's
That's
working.
true. That's
He's
true.
working. He ain't got nothing to say. He's working. And I saw they had um they had sent out a pic of there was a quote unquote Eagles Weight Watchers pic, and I think Earl was out with his lady, and he was getting into like a tub, or he was in a tub or hot tub or something with them, and dude was ripped up like back in the day, Earl, and this was probably like 2 months ago. So he's
Yeah,
never
I
gotten
seen
out
that.
of shape.
I seen it.
You know what I'm talking about? He ain't been out of shape.
Yeah,
Ain't no
I see
fat
it.
camps.
Yeah, his girl posted that on Instagram, and yeah, and then they
Yep,
got people got screenshots of it. Yes,
yep. You know what I'm saying?
but
His ain't no fat camps going on. And what makes this great for this fight? There's no excuses. There's no excuses. Both of
no
these guys are
excuses.
coming off of dominating wins. One
Both
one
look
broke
both
someone's
look like
face.
they've showed pretty much no slippage. There's
Right.
no
One
excuse.
broke someone's right. One broke someone's face, and the other one is the
Got
first
retired.
to right. The other one's the first to stop Sean Porter. I'll give him his credit on that. I mean, in the record books, it's a stoppage.
Yep.
So was the first to stop Sean Porter. Definitely was the first to knock him down twice in one fight and in one round. So, you know,
Yep.
no
And
excuses, man.
no excuses. And I just kind of like I'm just kind of frustrated. Like one, yeah, because you don't have the fight officially announced. But like I said, man, like because if you look at Compton's tweet and Bernie's his words, somebody's lying because it's a contradiction. And even Bernie
Yeah,
himself says, "Well, I don't know all the particulars." I mean, if you don't
right,
know all the particulars, then why are you running your mouth?
right.
Yeah.
But 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 here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? If you go back and you look at Earl Spence track record and everything that was being said and done leading up to this point, and Terrence Crawford and his team track record, what was being done up to this point, there's only been one side that's been contradicting themselves. There's been Earl
Yep.
Spencer's side, you may not like what he said and may have felt like you wanted to see him fight Terrence Crawford sooner than now, but he's never changed his story. And
That's true.
everything he said he stuck to. He said he got
That's
all
true.
three of the belts. We haven't heard him talk about no other fighter. We ain't we didn't hear him talk about Keith Thurman. We ain't hear him talk about no other fighter but Terrence Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
So you may not like what he said, and you may have wanted him to do things in the order that you may have wanted him to do it. But he's been consistent the whole time. The other side, we've heard we want the fight, we don't want the fight. We heard that if it was myself, Errol Spence basically is scared about fighting me, and that's the reason why he wants 60-40. You know, I don't have nothing to lose. If it were me, I'd just take whatever. And then when we get to the table, his team is saying stuff like the reason it should be 50-50 is because Terrence got something Earl want, which is one belt. Like Earl don't have three belts that Terrence would want. So if we just talking, just straight up and down facts and taking emotion out of it, there's only been one side that's been contradicting themselves this whole time.
Yes. The
You
only
know,
thing that Earl ever said that would make you, it's not even make you feel some type of way. The only thing that would ever even be even a hint of contradictory is he said if it doesn't happen now, it'll never happen. But that's like, I mean, that's the only thing that you and you would be reaching on that. Like you
right,
just said, the fight don't happen. So, but anything else, he's never been pessimistic about the fight happening.
right, yeah.
So when is it going to get announced, Kwame?
I don't know, man. That I can't tell you. But one thing I do see, with Terrence Crawford from the stuff he's posting is that he's in training camp shape.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's in tip top shape going into camp. And again, that makes me so excited because both of these guys are in tip top shape going into camp. So there's no excuses, and this is huge because
Mm-hmm.
this is definitely a legacy fight
Yep.
without a doubt. This is a fight that can make history for both guys. Both guys will be the first four belt undisputed welterweight champion, and for Terrence Crawford, which would be even more amazing for him, he'd do it in two consecutive weight classes.
Yep.
You know, so
Yep.
I mean, this is huge. This is a huge fight. The soap opera shit is done. It's done. These guys got to get in the ring, and all this arrow sprints and uh you
Earl
know
sexual.
horses and uh bed bugs and all that shit out the window. They got to fight. They got to
And
fight.
yep. And listen, what may the best man win? I have Earl by 12th round stoppage, possibly before, depending on how he comes in. But before I make my final prediction, I have to see how both fighters come in during weigh-in.
Hmm.
Because when I seen Earl come in versus Ugas, I knew he was getting stopped. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I could just tell by his body frame. But I knew he was getting stopped. But we'll see how Earl comes in, what shape he comes in, and the shape Terrence Crawford comes in, and I can make my final prediction.
Yeah, I mean, look, we know one thing, right? Terrence Crawford's definitely going to be in shape. I mean, he's already in shape. We see it already. And Errol Spence is definitely going to be in shape. You know, uh, I think one of the things that we'll go ahead and see if I could share this real quick. I think one of the things that see if we can pull this up. It was a post of him today. There's a post of him today. He says, Bud says, got that glow, and I know you see it because I most definitely can feel it. So these guys, look, he like he can fight today, if you want to be honest. So whoever wins this fight, you can't take nothing from them. You can't take anything. You can't take anything away from their victory unless we see some pure utter boxing corruption, which I hope we don't see. But I think this fight's going to be a great fight because this is like the ultimate clash of styles. The ultimate clash of styles. One guy who likes to keep you uh, at the end of his jab and move around and try to make you walk into something can hurt you with either hand, can switch and can finish you if you get hurt. And another guy who's super strong, super talented,
Who doesn't stop
may
coming like a damn Terminator machine?
yeah may have the best jab in boxing. Most think so. Has bone breaking power, has a granite chin, and it has beaten full fledged welterweights champions. You know, normally in
Hmm.
dominating fashion.
I mean, this fight has greatness written all over it.
Oh, it does. It does. And and to be quite honest, because I'm gonna be on my EJ shit. To be quite honest, Errol to me has a lot more going for him. And in terms of making the fight exciting, we've never seen him in a boring fight. Because let
Hmm.
me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. Terrence Crawford is a skilled fighter. He's a skilled fighter, right? But we can't say that every fight that we've seen him fight in is a one way affair or he's dominating the fight the whole time. He does get he has gotten great knockouts and he has finished guys once he's gotten them in trouble. But we've seen fights where it's not a one way affair for him, where he's actually dominating the fight. And also, some fights, to me, and I'll name two of them: Benavidez and Sean Porter, up all the way up until the knockout. To me, those fights weren't exciting fights. They were good fights, but they weren't exciting fights. The only fight that I've seen Earl Spence be in that wasn't exciting was the one straight after the accident against Danny Garcia. Uh, and I might say Mikey because I expected more against Mikey. But a lot of these Terrence Crawford fans are matching Terrence Crawford up against the worst versions they've seen of Errol Spence.
Hmm.
I.e. Sean Porter or Danny Garcia or Mikey Garcia. So
Exactly. And I was gonna say that you've never. There's only one fight with Earl Spence. You say, okay, he was down for the first half. Clearly, and that was
Kell Brook.
with Kell Brook.
Yep.
Even in the Sean Porter fight, and even if not that I had to look at the judges' scorecards, but if you want to take the judges serious, even with the judges themselves, they had a dead even in round six. So you could have made an argument for either way, even for the first 6 rounds of that fight. So but the only fight you've ever seen Earl actually down and have to come back was Kell Brook. That's it,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I mean, the Sean Porter fight, it seemed closer than it was. But what bothered me more about the most about the Sean Porter fight was how much he got hit.
mhm,
And me, I believe that happened because he wasn't, focused on his craft. He just figured, hey, I'll go in there and just beat Sean Porter because I'm better than Sean Porter. But Sean Porter had a training camp in his motherfucking life, and Kenny
mhm,
Porter made sure that he got into camp. I think they fought in October. I remember Kenny Porter had Sean Porter working out. I think in like April,
mhm.
prepping for the fight. So, uh, if we gonna we gotta. I'm gonna judge both of these guys off their best performances because I believe their best selves are gonna show up in the ring. Now,
Mhm.
for me, there's one thing that Errol Spence could do, in my opinion. I'm talking about from my point of view. There's one thing Errol Spence could do that I believe would take this fight from me just saying it's 50-50 to it being like a 60-40 or 55-45 fight.
I already know what's coming.
There's one thing he could do.
I wonder what that is.
If I see Earl Spence with Blu-ray, y'all might as well just go get y'all might as well just go get a stretcher from Terrence Crawford.
How did I know that was coming?
If Earl
Absolutely.
Spence and Blu-ray get together for this fight,
Yes. It's a wrap.
man, man, oh man, oh man,
Man, oh man.
man, oh man, oh man.
I feel like very confident betting if that was the case.
Yeah.
But like,
And here's what I'm gonna say about that. Right. I looked at Errol Spence's last performance with Ugas. Good performance. I would say with Ugas, I'd probably give him a B plus on that performance.
mm-hmm.
Because I've seen better Errol Spence. But the great thing that I saw with Errol Spence was that the old power was back. But
Mm-hmm.
what I noticed now, and if you go take a look at Spence versus Ugas, and go take a look at like Spence versus Lamont Peterson, you see that Errol Spence seemed a lot heavier to me in the Ugas fight. Not as to me a tad bit slower, very
Not as
strong,
agile.
but not as agile.
Mm-hmm.
Not as agile as I see him with Blu-ray.
Yeah, he had his conditioning was there for sure, but I think that it's just because that was nutrition and the conditioning. But
right.
yeah, when he was under, I know what you're talking about, because when he was under Blu-ray, he had like a nimbleness, a
Yes.
crispness,
Yes.
agility.
Yes.
I don't know. That's probably because of the workouts he was doing with his
type
joints.
of workouts.
Yeah,
Correct.
the joints with his joints and
The
stuff. You can
type of
kind of tell.
workouts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I now the power and everything is there, and I'm not saying he don't need Blu-ray to beat Terrence Crawford. That's not what I'm saying. He don't need he could beat if Errol Spence some of the small mistakes I see in the Ugas fight, because you gotta remember this is like off a 17-month layoff. If Errol Spence is just builds off of what he's did in that fight to now, he could beat Terrence Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a close fight.
It's a close fight.
Because
Mm-hmm.
and the reason I say that is because the chance that I give Terrence Crawford or beating Errol Spence is hitting Earl in between Earl's punches, hurting him or hitting him or dazing him with something while Earl is throwing, Terrence Crawford's throwing, and he lands something real accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And if he gets him like that, Earl's gonna have a big problem. And I feel like being a little bit more agile would help against that. Being a little bit more loose and quicker would help against that.
Yes, because it'll like it'll keep him on his toes, so to speak.
Yeah. But however, that is really and that's the way I think most Terrence Crawford fans see it. To me, I believe just based on the matchup, that's the only way Terrence Crawford's going to beat Earl Spence, if he hits him or hurts him in between shots. If he hits him and hurts him in between shots, Earl's going to have a big problem.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't hurt Errol Spence, if Errol Spence, I'm not, because I know for a fact Errol Spence is going to respect his power. I'm not saying he's not going to respect his power. But what I'm saying is, if he hit Earl Spence and Earl Spence don't go nowhere, man, it's going to be bad, man.
And so what I said that if Earl's able to tank all, or not even all, but if he's able to take most of Crawford's shots, that's gonna be real bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna, if he could take his shots.
No, I don't think he can for the most part, because I don't think no man can take those type of shots. But
I don't think he can take real clean, like accurate, like something that hasn't hurt him.
Shots he doesn't see. I don't think he can take those.
Because look, I'm not saying by no stretch of the imagination that Ugas, I'm not saying by no stretch of the imagination that Ugas has power like Terrence Crawford. He doesn't. Terrence Crawford has 29 knockouts. Ugas has 12. I'm not saying that. But it's normally the punches that you don't see that hurt. And the punch that Errol Spence took from Ugas that he didn't see, that straight right hand to the chin that knocked him into the ropes, that was the type of shot to take someone's legs completely from them, because you didn't see it. And he was hit right on the button. So the guy has a
With no
chin.
mouthpiece either.
Yeah, with no mouthpiece. So the guy, the guy has a chin. The guy has a chin. Uh, to me, Terrence Crawford, he has a decent chin, but his chin, to me,
Average.
I'm not gonna call his chin average because I mean, fighters get hurt. I haven't seen him like on his ass and getting up on Queer Street and not being able to recover. So I can't call his chin average. But from what I see, his chin and his endurance work together. That
I
his
think
chin and his chin and his endurance work together because Terrence Crawford is always in such great tip top shape. He's able to recover quickly because when he's there's a difference between you having a good chin and you having a chin where like you could take a shot, but your body doesn't react to the shot well. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
It's like Terrence Crawford is a tough, mean motherfucker who believes in himself all the way, and the reason he believes in himself is because of his hard work and because he in tip top shape. So if you hit him and try to hurt him, in his mind he's trying to recover right away because he's just like that. But his body though, when he's hit, do something different. I'm trying to tell you, his chin and his endurance, they work together. If
Well, the
if
reason.
if
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if one is off, the other's gonna be off.
hmm Um, the reason why I say Terrence Crawford has an average chin because the way I scale it, I scale Earl to have a good chin, not an ironclad chin. To me, an ironclad chin is GGG or Canelo. Those are ironclad chins. You mean James Tong? I mean, you can throw pretty much whatever at those motherfuckers, and they'll be able to stand. Um, I consider those guys 10 out of 10 in the chin area. I consider Earl like an 8. I consider Crawford like a 6, 6.5. So I think Earl Spence has a good chin. I think his chin is good enough to carry him up to 154 with shots he can see. Shots he doesn't see, I don't think it can hold up. So I
Mhm.
kind of consider I consider his chin. Again, I know this might sound kind of funny. Like, how can you gather all this information? But I consider his chin kind of around the same area as Floyd Mayweather. These guys got good chins that can take a shot. For welterweight, they have real good chins. So that's what I consider his chin to be.
Yeah, yeah. And shout out to Travion. I see you here. You here in the building. You got one eye open, but hey, see, Travion, this is exactly why y'all team gonna lose. Because we talking about boxing, y'all always talk about some dumb shit like, oh, you a boxing expert or something. Nigga, we talk about the fight. You get to
Yeah.
go in the gym with your uncle all the time. You could be chiming in and talking about what your uncle do better and all that. But you talk about, oh, this person think he this and this person think he that. See, y'all be too worried about that shit. But I'm gonna tell you something, because I'm glad you got your picture here, and people can see your face. Because after Earl and your uncle, I know I'm not gonna see you for a long time. I know I'm not gonna,
And
because I'm gonna tell you this, Travion. It's gonna hurt you way worse if your uncle lose than it's gonna hurt me if Earl lose. 'Cause it's personal for y'all.
that's true.
It gonna hurt you way worse. It gonna hurt you way worse than it's gonna hurt me. Cause your Jordan allowance is gonna go on pause after that. Cause cause once Earl stop him, he ain't gonna want no rematch because he gonna be broken up.
Hey man, all respect to you and your uncle, man, but he's gonna get beat on, bro. You're gonna get savagely beat on, man. It's like just one brother said. He said it's gonna look like your favorite pet getting ran over by a truck, a Mack truck.
Look, I'm gonna give Terrence Crawford more respect than that. I'm gonna give Terrence Crawford more respect than that. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be where he's getting ran over by a Mack truck. I'm gonna tell you how I think the fight's gonna go. I believe the fight is gonna go very similar to the Kell Brook fight. I think Terrence Crawford is gonna have some good success in the beginning and into the middle of the fight with his boxing ability. He's gonna catch Earl with some stuff. Earl gonna go in there and do what he do. But I seriously believe he's gonna get drowned after like round 6, 7, and 8 from the accumulation because the pace is gonna be the pace. One thing we can
Mm-hmm.
say about Earl Spence, huh, the pace is the pace. Period.
Mm-hmm.
The pace is the pace.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen because I know one thing. Everyone used to say, "Oh, Earl's a weight bully. Oh, Earl's a weight bully. Oh, Earl's a weight bully." But the last fight to me it looked like Ugas was bigger than him at the weigh-in. The last time I
Exactly.
seen the fight before that, Danny Garcia, who moved up from 140, who's now 154, looked bigger than Earl Spence.
Sean Porter was bigger than him. He's just short.
So Earl's a weight bully, but you know Terrence Crawford has a frame of a human being of genetically smaller. He's coming up from 35 to 40 to 47. Now, the thing that works in his favor is that he was able to grow into the weight really good because this really looks like this is naturally around the size of him in terms of being able to be the strongest he could possibly be at a weight class.
Yeah.
However, he's still a smaller guy. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to deal with
The
the volume
punishment.
of punches. How he's going to deal with the volume of punches. Let's take a
I
listen.
don't listen. Just naturally being a smaller individual, he won't be able to take the same punishment Gus could. I don't think so. I really doubt that because Ugas was huge in that fight. So you're telling me that you think Terrence Crawford could take the same punishment from a guy who's much bigger than him to his ribs? No.
Look, it remains to be seen. I can't say what he can do or what he can't do. It remains to be seen. Look, both of these guys know what's on the line. Both of these guys are ultra. Oh, both of these guys are ultra competitive. Both of these guys. So we gonna see a fight. And my man Glenn Lanton, he said it perfect. And I've said this from the beginning. The durability, the person who's the most durable is going to be the person who fights. And I have to, if anything, I have to give that nod to Errol Spence for a couple reasons. I mean, talk about durability. Look how he bounced back from that car accident. Look how he still takes. Look at his chin. Look how he takes punches. You know.
And what's so crazy, and people not. I mean, people are forgetting this in his last fight, and I know people don't want to mention this or maybe they forgot about it, but I picked it up. Terrence Crawford got tired in the middle of the fight, very tired. You could tell he was stopping with his punches, and the pace slowed down from both sides because he was tired. So, and Sean was tired too, I believe, but I noticed that Terrence Crawford was tired in the middle of the fight for like a round or two, a round and a half.
I must
So
have missed it.
if you're getting tired with Sean Porter, you're gonna face a guy who
Mm.
throws 3 times the amount of Sean Porter, so he puts up the pace 3 times as much, and it's a year out the ring, another year. You're
Bro,
older.
I mean,
You
I
know.
can't really agree with you on that. I ain't never seen Bud tired in my life, so that
Okay.
I
Go
can't agree
back.
with you
Go
on that
back in
one.
rounds. Go
I
back
look
in
at
round. Okay,
they
go
didn't
back.
even throw, bro. Bud didn't even throw enough punches in that fight to be tired.
I'm trying to
I,
tell you,
I,
bro. He was tired. I can show you. Go back.
you have
Go
to
ahead.
show it to me because I listen. That, like
I'm
You
not
know,
lying. I can fully fight that. Yeah.
Listen, like Floyd Mayweather, Bud and Floyd Mayweather got one thing for sure in common, and it's their endurance. Bud wasn't no damn tired against no Sean Porter. I can tell you that right now.
I mean, I
Bud
go back and go
Crawford
look at it.
trains in. Listen, Bud Crawford trains in high altitude, bro. And I seen this trail that Bud Crawford runs. I see this trail that Bud Crawford runs all the time on the regular, and I seen Mike Stafford take Adrian Broner to run it one time in Colorado. Adrian Broner looked like he almost died and cursed at Mike Stafford and his team and said, "Don't y'all ever fucking bring me back here again." So for
Just
me to
pull it.
believe
Pull it.
Terrence Crawford is tired in a 12 round fight, if he ain't because Sean Porter ain't giving no punishment. So if he ain't taking no punishment, Terrence Crawford ain't gonna be tired. So I ain't banking on that not one bit.
I'm not banking on it either. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that that's a fact that be brought up. Don't take my word for it. You can go back and look at the fight. I'm not making this up, Kwame.
Okay, I mean I looked at it. I see when a motherfucker get tired. Canelo got tired. I didn't see any moment Terrence Crawford looked tired because a tired fighter, a motherfucker like Sean Porter, is gonna jump on all night for every tired moment you have. So,
Sean was
uh,
tired too.
so you telling me Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford both went into that fight tired, bro?
No, 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 no. I'm saying around the middle of the fight that got tired for like a round and a half. You look at it.
Okay, hey man,
I know, I
I
know.
didn't
We've
see
never
it.
seen him tired before, so it doesn't like
I
sound
didn't see
believable.
it.
But I'm not lying.
Yeah, I ain't see that. I definitely didn't see that. You know, if there was a boxing video game and Terrence Crawford was on it and they had endurance, his endurance would be like a 99 for real.
No,
That's
I
not
think it is. I just think that it could
his
be the age. It could be
endurance
the
would be like
age.
a 99.
No,
Yeah.
I think so too. I just think that maybe 'cause in his last fight, it could have maybe been the age, or it could be because Sean Porter pushed him harder than anybody else did.
Sean Porter, bruh, Lennar, what do you, bro? Sean Porter didn't push Bud hard at all. Like, do you realize that these guys didn't throw a lot of punches in that fight? The fight was basically kind of, to me, in a way, the fight was basically kind of boring up until the knockout. Bud
Well, what
Crawford
I mean,
landed 20 punches in CompuBox had him landed 20 punches through 5 rounds. There wasn't a lot of action in that fight.
let me not misquote my. So what I mean is like he set the pace high. Like when Sean Porter was coming in, Terrence Crawford was being very wary of it. Like you said, not throwing a lot of punches, try to time him on his way in. So the pace was high.
I get it. Look, Lenore, we gotta stop talking about this because you got me defending Terrence Crawford. You
I'm
got me
not.
defending
I'm
Terrence
not.
Crawford, bro.
I'm not.
You got me, yeah, bro. You got me defending Terrence Crawford. This is blasphemy. We gotta move on from this for real. So so I just I feel like I said, it's gonna be very similar to the Kell Brook fight. I feel like Bud Crawford's gonna have success in the beginning, but once we get like around 6 and 7, it's gonna be a problem. And here's another thing I'll say about this fight: as much shit as I give Terrence Crawford team, and much as I rock with Earl Spence, I'll probably just clown the people who lost. I mean, like Travion, I'll clown him, but he won't be around for me to clown. But I would clown Travion during the loss, but I won't clown the fighters because this is such a great fight that you have to respect both of these guys for fighting each other, and you have to respect them as warriors for whatever the outcome is. Like that's that's what you're supposed to do in fights of these magnitudes like this. Because this gonna be these motherfuckers gonna try to kill each other. I can tell you that right now. They gonna try to take each other head off. There's a lot on the
Yeah.
line, man.
And what's the fan bases have made it worse. I think
Yeah,
that if the fan bases weren't as toxic as they were, I don't think they would. It would this fight would be as passionate as it's going to be when they get in the ring because I think that the fan bases. This is an example in the modern day age where the fan bases have just made it worse.
yeah, yeah. I would say that. And that's exactly why I said I'm not gonna clown the fighter who loses. I'll clown the fans, but not the fighters. Whoever loses, I'm not gonna clown them because it's a fight. It's just like if you see two guys in the street fighting that you respect, you know what I'm saying, and they give out a warrior effort, you can't clown them for that. You
Hmm.
know, some you win, some you lose, and this is the type of fight where for either person, some you win, some you lose. So
Yeah.
I salute whoever doesn't win, and I salute who does win. But Travion, we know you going Travion, you gonna need therapy after this fight. I
Now,
hope you got. Oh, Travion, look, man, go get you a little job because I know you're still in school. I'm proud of you for that. But you need to go get you a little job that got health insurance because you're gonna be able to go sit and talk to somebody because I know after you see your hero pummeled like that, you're gonna need someone to talk to because it's almost gonna be like when you was a kid and then your parents came to you and told you that Santa Claus wasn't real, how it just crushed you and shit. It's gonna be like that, man. You know. But I'm just saying, man. Salute to both of those fighters, man. Um, damn, I wish I could get some Terrence Crawford people on here because I want to hear a
yeah.
breakdown. I want to hear how some Buff fans would break down how they feel that he's gonna win the fight.
What you think about I don't know if you talked about this, but what you think about the Canelo and GGG fight?
It was trash. It was a
Yeah.
trash. It was a trash fight. I turned it off. I turned it off in round 10 because what I saw was that Triple G was so slow. And I'm not saying that he don't have no power to disrespect him, but it just seemed like the pace of the fight was too fast for him, and the way he threw punches now didn't even look like he could even get enough power on his punches because he looked so damn slow. And I felt
Yeah.
that Canelo could have done a lot more. Canelo could have actually walked him down. Try go
Hmm.
If Canelo would have fought Triple G the way he fought him in the second fight, he would have probably knocked him out.
But I think that Canelo's aging, bro. Or he's.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
Canelo's on a decline. We, we
Yeah.
we don't ever have to talk about Canelo being the number one pound for pound fight in the world anymore. That's over.
Yeah. I think he's maybe starting to be on the decline.
Yeah,
Because
the
the way
cash
that's the
cow stuff
way.
is good.
Yeah. But I think he might. I think he's kind of. I don't want to. I mean, we'll see how he looks next fight. I know he's out next year, but it's looking like he's on a decline. We'll see how he performs next fight, but it's looking like he's kind of on a slight decline.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he is, man, I mean, what a run though. You know, he was dominating guys what 2 or 3 years. He was like running through Callum Smith and Allen. I mean, just looking great. You know, but I think that he might be on the decline
The
because I
boy.
think that every fighter is entitled to a bad performance. You know what I'm saying? So before I officially say he's on the decline, but I mean, I didn't expect. I mean, he lost against the bigger man in Dimitri Bivol and bigger, better man. So I don't expect. But after this fight, though, we'll see how he comes back. If he because I think that he is because based off of this performance, he should have got him up out of there. But
Yeah.
and GGG got old overnight. GG just got old, man. And
That shit wasn't no
what's
overnight.
huh?
He didn't get old overnight. I think what a lot of you guys fail to realize is that Canelo Alvarez beat some years out of GGG in that second fight. A lot of people ain't see that. Triple G was beat the fuck up after that second fight. Look, you can have the best chin in the world. Arturo Gotti, one of the guys who had one of the best chins in the history of the sport of boxing, was in wars. But the head is not meant to be hit. He's a human being.
Mhm.
And Triple G took a lot. He took Matter of fact, let me see. I think I looked for it. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Uh Triple G and Canelo to let's see, post fight. Let's see what I can find for that. Images. Look at this man's face. Look at this man's face.
Is that the second fight?
That's the second fight. Look at this man's
Mm.
face. Canelo beat the shit out of him in that second fight. It was a good fight, but Canelo beat the shit out of him in that second fight. Let me see here.
Mm.
Look at this man's face.
That's the
Cuts,
first fight.
eyes black. Yeah, that's the first one. But the second fight, he took a beating. Let me just see if maybe if I do it like this.
But what's so crazy though, it's kind of funny because, like, I feel like GGG, if they were both young and the same age, I think that GGG, if they had fair judging, I think he beats Canelo. I think that he has a style to do it, but I just think that, I mean, there's no way he's going to beat him in the third fight at his age. I mean,
He beat him. He listen. He beat him the first fight. He
yeah,
got robbed.
and got robbed.
He got
And I
robbed.
and I thought the second fight to me was a draw. I mean, I know people say otherwise. I thought that was kind of a draw.
Nah, I had Canelo winning that fight.
Okay,
I
but
had
I
I
mean,
had I had Canelo winning that one.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like if they're both the same age, I think GGG has the style to beat Canelo. I think.
Yep. Well, I remember watching the Triple G fight, the first Canelo Triple G fight, and I was at a strip club with my two brothers and my homeboy Roy. And in the strip club, there's no, you can't hear the volume for the fight. There's music going on, so you couldn't hear the fight. When they announced the winner, everybody was shocked in the club because when we
Mm-hmm.
watched the fight with no sound, it was clear that it wasn't no draw. Canelo lost the
Mm-hmm.
fight,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then I went and rewatched the fight, and I could see how Canelo got a draw in the fight too. So I felt that Triple G won,
So
but
who you thought won the first one? Then?
like I said, Triple G. I felt Triple G won the fight.
Okay.
For the first fight, the second fight, Canelo beat him, and what was super impressive about how Canelo beat him was Canelo beat him with so-called Mexican style. He stayed in his face, and
Yeah.
he it was a barrage of punches. And Triple G, he took a lot of leather from Canelo, and Canelo. Think about this: after Triple G lost to Canelo in the second fight, let's take a look here because I had it up. He fought. That was in 2018. So September 2018, they fought, and then Triple G fought one, two, three, four times in 4 years, and against he had a rough fight against Derevyanchenko. This last guy that was 60-2, he was hurt and he looked old and slow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Canelo who put him in that stage. Canelo's the one
Mm-hmm.
who knocked those years off of Triple G from the second fight, and that's why I felt like what he did in this fight. If I was to give Canelo a grade on this last fight, it would be like a C minus. I give him like a C minus because he came out trying to knock him out in the beginning, and Triple G still, you saw the experience in Triple G still. Even though, see, the fact that Triple G have good fundamentals and he got a good jab and he
Chin.
has uh, better footwork than Canelo actually, he was
Mm.
able to gauge a lot of the punches Canelo threw, and Canelo wasn't
Yeah.
effective. But even when they went to trade shots, Triple G basically he was way too slow. He wasn't getting anything on his shots because the shots were way too slow. And he only got off when Canelo gassed out and got tired. And,
Yeah.
and, and, and Triple G
Yeah.
wasn't even doing nothing for him to get tired.
Yeah.
So
I think that what you said was true because if you saw Triple G, he would do it like as soon as Canelo threw like a big shot, he would go back with like almost like a shoulder roll. He would kind of almost like roll the shot and take a quick sneaky step back. I don't know if you saw that, but he'll take a quick sneaky step back to get out of Canelo's range of firing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because soon as Canelo was doing some right hooks, you would see, or right or left hooks, I forget which one, but as soon as you started to throw some hooks, you saw GGG. Like if you go back and watch it, he would take a half step back to dodge to get out of range.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I saw that numerous times in the fight. I
Right.
said, oh, he's being crafty. You know what I'm saying? Surviving in there.
You gotta remember he's an Olympian, so he got good basics and fundamentals. You know,
Yeah,
and he's got a lot of experience too.
yeah.
So I mean, at this point, Triple G, he just need to retire. He don't need to fight nobody else.
Do you
And
think? Do you think Prime GGG beats Prime Canelo?
yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I I do. After the first Triple G fight
Hmm.
against Canelo is when I really gave Triple G respect. And I was like, he's actually a really good fighter. Like
Yeah.
like not saying like a great fighter, but I have to put him up there with he was an elite top level fighter.
Yes. It wasn't just all smoke and mirrors. You could
Right,
actually,
right.
yeah.
And he knew how to set his punches up. His jab was a problem. He knew how to set his punches up, and they were devastating. And his defense wasn't horrible. He took shots, but he could take the shots.
Yeah. But what's so crazy? It was so funny. In the third fight is Karma come back and bite your ass. They almost robbed Canelo and gave it a draw. The third fight.
Salute to you, salute to you, Mike. That's my little brother right there, down in Florida. Salute to you. Yeah.
You saw that though. If you look at the scorecards, Kwame, they had almost a draw. They give the last round to they would have had a majority decision draw or whatever. So it would have been
What are
like,
you talking
oh, here
about? The
we
last fight, the fight this weekend?
yeah, the fight this weekend. Like
Man, I
I
cut
think
that shit off at the 10th round, man.
yeah, had they gave the last, I thought he won the last round, Triple G, but had they gave the last round to him, we would have been like most of the judges would have had a draw. So
Bruh,
with a majority decision draw because one of the judges had a clearly for Canelo, and the other two was kind of close. So
bruh,
it
I
was like,
can't. That's what I'm saying. I can't fuck with boxing like that. Cause
yeah.
boxing do too much wild shit like that. People be like, "Oh, oh, you a fan of the fighters? You're not a fan of boxing." It's hard to be a fan of the sport of boxing when
Mhm.
they do shit like that. You got fucked up scorecards and shit. I'm a fan of the sweet science of boxing, but the sport of boxing is fucking trash to me. All you
Mhm.
know, you can't get the fights made. Sanctioned bodies, managers, promoters, mandatories, not franchise belts. The actual sport of boxing fucked up. The sweet science I
It,
love, but the sport ain't shit.
yeah. Is Canelo an all-time great?
Yeah, yeah. Canelo's
I think
definitely an
so.
all-time great. Yeah, that's
I
not
think
that's
so.
not that's not even a question. I mean, he's been look at his accomplishments,
Yeah.
and then he has the legacy in terms of even though he picked and chose fighters, and you know brought me onto the Canelo because I would probably make some Mexican fans mad. But the same Mexican fans who talk about Floyd uh pick all his opponents and this, that, and the other, they sure ain't have shit to say when Canelo did all of that and
Exactly.
jumping around other fighters. I don't even know, to be quite honest, I don't know how Mexican fight fans could even support Canelo when a fighter who's saying that he don't want to fight any other Mexicans. That shit don't even make
Oh, okay.
sense.
Yeah.
How you gonna say How you gonna say I don't want to fight any more Mexicans, bruh? If you the cash cow in boxing, right? You should want to
Yeah.
help get your countrymen paid.
Yep.
Why would you say that you don't want to fight no Mexicans, bro?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because when I looked at where they for is that was that the T-Mobile Arena on Saturday?
Yep.
I see nothing but Mexicans in there. Why would you not want to fight another Mexican?
Mhm.
You know, uh,
Yep.
I
But let Floyd Mayweather say, I ain't gonna fight no brothers. Let him
But
say that.
but see that's the difference, right? That's the difference between Floyd and Canelo, right? Because a lot of people didn't see this. After Floyd beat Pacquiao, when I saw this on Floyd. When Floyd got that Showtime contract after he fought Maidana for the second time, Floyd Hart wasn't in the sport of boxing like that no more. Like when he was young, like he just get up to fight. He get up for fights. Floyd was now in a business contract where he wanted to fulfill his contract with Showtime. They paid him. He wanted to fulfill his contract with Showtime, but he was more of a businessman than a young guy who was getting up for fights. But if you remember, after he beat Manny Pacquiao, the numbers were so great for the networks. They made so much damn money off of that. Floyd was able to just pick whoever the hell he wanted for his last fight, and people had a problem. And if you remember, the two the two people he said he was gonna fight in his last fight was gonna either be Andre Berto or Kareem Mayfield because he wanted to fight another black fighter so he could give them a payday.
Oh, he said that.
Yeah, yeah, he wanted to fight Kareem Mayfield. What would Kareem Mayfield be doing in the ring with Floyd Mayweather? But Floyd wanted to fight another black fighter because he knew that he was a payday. So once you sit down with someone else and fight, boxing is not personal beef; it's professional, it's business. So
Hmm.
once you sit down and fight another fighter, you helping them out. You putting food on their table.
And
Look what happened to
people don't
Marcos.
even know. People
Look,
don't even know that that fight sold pretty good. 600, 700,000. That's pretty good
look.
for a no name in Berto.
It, well, it didn't. Those numbers didn't matter because the Manny Pacquiao fight so superseded expectations that it didn't matter who he fought and what the numbers were going to be. The numbers he made from the Manny Pacquiao fight was probably enough to cover all five of the fights that they made that he signed for in that contract. So it didn't matter who he fought. That's why he chose Berto. Because
Yeah.
Berto was one of Al Heyman's first boxing clients. Vernon Forrest was, I believe, his first,
Yes.
and
Running
Berto, if it
force.
wasn't his
Yes.
second, it was either his second or third, or the next well-known fighter that Al Heyman had. So he did Berto a solid and fought him. But you got guys like Canelo who just making shit up. I don't want to fight
Mhm.
no more Mexicans.
I remember Berto's dumbass was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make it." I remember his interviews. Oh, I'm gonna make it more competitive in the Manny Pacquiao fight. No, you did not. I mean, he said it's definitely gonna be more competitive than the Pacquiao fight. I was like, bruh. When the fight happened, he just got. I mean, the clear level of class showed.
Facts.
So
And then like my brother B House said, he said Wilder gave Ortiz his first $1 million check. Correct. I remember Wilder had stated he wanted to fight Ortiz. Even though Ortiz, I think he had like that blood pressure PED shit. They said it was his blood pressure medication. And then when he got it all cleared up, Wilder still gave him a shot and gave him a rematch because Wilder said, "Look, this dude have a daughter just like I have a special needs daughter. We need to get in the ring and let me bless this man and give him a payday."
yeah.
But Canelo Alvarez, man, Canelo Alvarez, bruh, he done, bro. He about to get his ass whooped by somebody because he's on the no for real. He's on the decline. He's on the decline, right? And
Hmm.
he's cherry picked around so much that now he don't have no one left to fight. The only
Hmm.
fight he really have that people want to see is Benavidez.
And he only has sharks left. All
That's
the
it.
guppies are already gone. He only has sharks left now.
That's it. He don't
And
have no one else.
so
He have no
he's
one else.
gonna be facing some. I mean, I thought the Triple G match overall was a sparring match, but from here on out, he's facing nothing but wars now. Nothing
Yeah.
but all-out wars, back and forth brawls, coming down to the wire. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? That is, you know.
Yep. No, seriously. And who's like who else are they gonna match him up with?
Yeah.
He's not fighting Better Biv. He damn sure ain't fighting him. Uh
Hell.
uh it don't look like he want any smoke with Bivol. He might try to tell Bivol, you got to come down to 168 or try to fight him at a catch weight or some stupid shit like that. But I mean, other than that, there ain't no one for Canelo to fight. No one. Ain't no one for him to fight. So he did all his ducking on the way up, and now who knows? Canelo got enough money he could retire today if he wanted to. So uh, we'll see, man. We'll see, but uh, I don't. That's enough about cinnamon. You know, it's enough about cinnamon. You
And
know.
that's enough about Triple Grandpa.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going to be announced for this undercard, though. I'm I'm
But
I'm
do you
I'm
know when the
hoping.
sorry if I already asked you this question? Do you know if the fights when the fight's going to be announced?
I no, I don't know when it's going to be announced. I just, from what I've heard, it's on the 19th. You know, the A side people and family is already scheduling shit to be down there for the 19th. So I don't know. I have no
With or
clue when it's
without?
announced. I don't know about this with or without shit. That ain't happening. Terrence Crawford is on a podcast. He taking pictures with Jay-Z and shit. I'm like, is the public this gullible and easily manipulated where you're thinking, oh, Errol Spence is gonna fight somebody other than Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford not even the type of guy to be in cameras, but he's sitting with Bill Bellamy. He's doing all it. He's with Jay Z 50 taking all these pictures and all this shit. But y'all really think it's gonna be someone else is gonna show up there to fight Errol Spence on the 19th? Bro, this fight is done. The fight's done. The fight probably been done, and they're just overselling us the fight. And I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet anybody this fight gonna be 99.95 on pay per view. It ain't
Mm.
gonna be 74.95. It's gonna be 99.95. I'm willing to bet it.
And
And
you know that
I call the
are
skizzy
you
though.
guessing that, or you have an inside
Oh
source?
no, 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 no. I don't have no source in that. That's just to me. That's just what I see. That's what I see because this is a huge fight. And this is a fight a lot of people want to see, and they want to they're gonna want to make sure that they get paid off of it, like they did with Floyd and Pacquiao. It ain't gonna sell as much as Floyd and Pacquiao, but it to the boxing fans. I'm not saying to the casual fans, but to the boxing fans, this fight is actually bigger than Floyd and Pacquiao because both of these guys are in their prime.
Yep.
These guys ain't.
Undisputed prime, pound for
Yeah,
pound. Yep. Yep.
yeah. Both of these guys are coming on stoppages their last fights.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, oh,
Somebody said it shouldn't be 99. They're gonna turn
yeah.
some fans off.
AJ said that, but you know what? I work in corporate America. Uh, they 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 know that people buy it still. And whether it should or shouldn't be is not. It doesn't matter to corporations. Should and
Mm-mm.
shouldn't be. You know. In my line of work, I see people pay some really high prices that I think is for in some cases very basic service, but people will pay it. It all depends. That now AJ could be right with that, just in the regard that if it's 99.99, some people, maybe some more people will stream it. But I feel like if you can't afford $25, because a regular pay per view is going to be 74.95. If you can't afford an extra $25, you probably ain't in the financial position to be buying it for 74.95 either. I mean,
Yeah,
I
true.
mean, I mean, shit. This is America, nigga. If you don't got $100 and you a grown ass man, you got a fucking problem. You shouldn't be watching the fight anyway. If you ain't got $99, you should be working overtime. You ain't
I
got
guess
ninety
we've
nine
been.
dollars.
I guess times is hard. People don't got it like that.
No, I'm just saying though. You know.
And I
Uh,
do know this though. I do know that Earl Spence is sparring.
okay. I mean that would make sense.
I've seen him with multiple sparring partners.
Mm,
Um,
uh, That would make
I,
sense.
I see multiple sparring partners, so I know he is fighting on the 19th.
Okay. Topic I want to touch on in this fight as well. Matchups. Now, in this fight, especially in this fight, because of what's on the line, and the stylistic matchup, and there's a chance that either one of these guys could find themselves in a position that they're normally not in a fight.
Mm.
A
Okay.
very good chance of that. Either one of these guys could find themselves in a position that they're normally not in a fight.
Okay.
So the corners, I feel, are going to play a huge part in this fight, based off of
Okay.
that.
I
And
agree.
and I believe that Derrick James is the best game planning boxing trainer in the entire sport of boxing. Game plan. I'm not. Listen, because if you go out there and say, "Oh, he's the best," that's that's more subjective than what I just said. Because you can say, "Oh, Nacho Bernstein's been out there for 50 years training, and this person and that person or whoever." But I'm just saying, in terms of game planning, game planning,
Okay.
Derrick James is the best. And the way I can prove that to you is take a look at the fights that Jamel Charlo lost and drew, Harrison and Castano, their first fights. You can clearly see the instructions that Derrick James was giving uh, Jamel Charlo were the right instructions, but Jamel Charlo was doing his own thing in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But when they came back for the rematch, and that game plan was drilled into him, and they watched film and it was implemented, two stoppages, right?
Yes.
So, me personally, I believe that that's going to play a huge factor in this fight, and from both aspects of things going right for Earl Spence or things not going so right for Earl Spence. I feel
Yes.
that Derrick James is more equipped, more calm, uh,
Yes.
uh, could give clear and concise directives under pressure and under stress.
Yes. Yes.
And
I. Yeah, go ahead.
and one last thing, Derrick James doesn't he doesn't coach emotionally.
Yes. Yes. I concur. I think that think about Derrick James, and I think that's not only is he able to can come up with a game plan, he's able to think on the fly to tell his fighter to adjust. That's what, because like you said, when things don't go right, how do you react? So they can have this fancy smancy game plan, but if things don't go right, who and what trainer do you trust? Because both these fighters are at such a high level that they can definitely take away tools the other one is good at. So if they do that, it goes back to the corners, and can the corners derive a game plan, a concise, clear, articulated game plan within a time constraint and under stress? Can they do that? I believe I've seen Derrick James prove that time and time again. Bomac, I've at times I have, but other times I've heard him be like, "Fight that motherfucker." I mean, what does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? So yes, overall, I think that Derek James. I mean, I would definitely want him in my corner and between these two trainers. I've never really seen Derek James like for example, in the Triple G fight, Canelo fight. I know we got past him, but I'm gonna give an example because it's clear on people's mind. Jonathan Banks really wasn't given the best advice, but I've never seen Derek James, and again, I'm not here being biased. I just haven't seen it. I've never seen Derek James fall under pressure and doesn't know what to do. I have yet to see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just kind of stand there and just say general things. Oh, fight him or push harder. What are you doing? Get your head in the game. I've never heard him just say these general things. So yeah, Derek James just gives concise, clear instructions of what to do to have more success in the fight. So I think that yeah, there's no doubt to me that Derrick James is he's the best trainer in this. And I also think one more thing I'll say, that I think not only are we looking at trainers here, I can also imagine if we have to look at this in a sense of what happens if both fighters are in a position that they're uncomfortable with, who is going to think more clearly? And I think that's Earl. I mean, we've seen, like, I've never really seen Earl like under just fold under pressure or just do something that was just drastic under pressure. That's like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Nah, I've seen him make mistakes like dropping his mouthpiece, but I'm talking about under pressure. I've never seen him derive from the game plan and make a mistake like that. And I think that Earl is pretty calm and cool under pressure, and he doesn't really ever look too overwhelmed. So I think that yeah I think that if I had to bet between the two between Terrence and Earl, I think Earl is going to think more calmly in there under stress.
mm. Okay. I don't know. I think Terrence. I haven't seen Terrence. I don't know.
Well, what I
I
mean is like I'll hit you, I'm gonna hit you back, hit you, I'm gonna hit you back, hit you, I'm gonna hit you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm
right.
talking about. Being under pressure, just being not making mistakes under pressure.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, I could.
Like you know,
I
yeah.
could. That I could agree with. Uh, because what I will say is like when Bud got hit by Me Machine, he didn't look like he was getting ready to fold. He turned it up.
Hmm.
So he thinks very good under. I think one thing that a lot of people they look at Terrence Crawford's skill set and they like to talk about his boxing ability and his ring IQ. But one thing that people don't really talk much about with Terrence Crawford is that he's a very mentally strong individual. I mean, you could see it in his workouts. You can see it. He's a very strong individual mentally, and breaking Terrence Crawford from a mental standpoint is going to be very hard. You're going to have to break him physically first. That's you're
Yeah,
going to
I
have to
agree.
break him. You're going to have to break Terrence Crawford physically. Mentally, if you try to break Terrence Crawford mentally, that that may not work out
That's not gonna work.
in your favor, you know. But
Yeah.
I would say the way that you break Terrence Crawford down mentally is by breaking him down physically. He has to be broken down
Hmm.
physically first to where, like Chris Van Heerden said, when you're so beat up that when the punches are coming, even though you see him, you really can't even get out the way of them because you so beat up. And that's the way you're gonna. That's the way to break Terrence Crawford down. And Errol Spence, as we can see right here, he's the type of fighter to do that to a fighter is to break
Hmm.
them physically. So you
'Cause
know,
I don't think that yeah, I'm gonna. I don't think either of these fighters you're gonna break their will. I think you're gonna have to just beat them down. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You're not gonna like you know how when Earl fought Mikey, he kind of got a little discouraged maybe, or you can maybe say with Danny kind of, you can kind of see it on their face. They're just it's like no way I can win this. I just gotta survive. I'm frustrated. I don't think we're gonna get that if Earl starts to do that from Crawford. I don't think we're gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? I think Crawford's gonna try his darndest to make something work. But I think that when you get physically beat down, it doesn't matter what you do. You if you're gonna have all the tenacity in the world, but if your body doesn't go, it can't go anymore.
yeah. We've seen what we've seen what uh Terrence Crawford, and I'm not trying to be one of those people who are just going on the eye, the eye, the eye, the eye, right? But we've seen what happened to Terrence Crawford when Kell Brook was successful at landing his jab in the first 3 rounds. That he had issue with his eye, and with everyone that we see Errol Spence fight thus far, even the people he didn't knock out, they all had some eye problems.
Yeah,
Danny had a black eye. All these guys had. Floyd had a black eye. So it seems like he's really good with doing something with that jab, with people's
yeah.
eyes. So, um, as I said, it's going to come down to, durability. But Terrence Crawford definitely. Terrence Crawford definitely has a great chance in this fight because he can hurt you, man.
Yeah.
He can hurt you.
And if I'm Derek James, this is what I'll say. Again, I'm just a peon on YouTube, but I think that we need to make an early body investment. Be careful, don't get caught upstairs when you open up. But I think that you need to make an early body investment, which EJ always does. But he needs to make sure with this fight that he makes an early body investment because, like you said, Terrence Crawford can switch it, can flip the switch at any moment. You know what I'm saying? So like he did against Kell Brook. So I think that is very dangerous. So if I'm EJ, I gotta say, okay, I gotta get him tired, and I gotta make sure I use my body techniques, my body work, so he's tired. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I don't care how much of a thinker you are, how much of a good you are in particular skill in boxing. If you're tired, you're tired, and you can't execute.
Right, and that's true. And what I'll also add to that is us to take it a step further. How are you going to implement that? Because I mean, that's the basis of Errol Spence. The
Mm-hmm.
basis of Earl Spence is to give a body attack. So like like that's something that don't even need to be said to him as a fighter. I mean, he's going to invest in the body. That's what he does. But
Yeah.
the question in this fight is how to apply that effectively with Terrence Crawford without getting countered coming in, without getting hurt coming in. How
Yes.
to apply it effectively when he's a southpaw, how to apply it effectively if he decides to go orthodox. See,
Yes.
those are see, and that is why, again, that is another reason why I favor the corner of Errol Spence because I know that Errol Spence's corner is going to have a game plan that works, and then I also know that Errol Spence is also intelligent enough, and he doesn't get enough credit for this as a fighter to go in there and see stuff and adapt and make adjustments to it. But
Hmm.
again, why this is such a great fight, Terrence Crawford throw punches from a lot of fucking weird angles too.
Yeah.
So some of those lapses that Earl has defensively, we gonna see how does he take a punch from Terrence Crawford. But it has to be something clean because Terrence Crawford is not his power. A lot of his power has to do with his accuracy
Yep.
of his. He's also very strong,
I think it's
but
I think
his
it's his
accuracy.
yeah. It's his placement, his timing when he throws it, and I think that also because when he throws his punches, it whips. It's like a whip. You know what I'm saying? So I think that yeah, I think that I won't necessarily say it's just pure strength. I just think all the technique behind it.
Facts. I would say. I would also say to you, my brother Will Murphy. You said, do I believe ring rust will be a factor? I think it may play a factor. Ring rust always plays a factor. Um, but I also think that these guys both fought the same amount of time in the last couple years, so they should be kind of even with the whole ring rust thing. Um, but
What about age?
the age is not a problem. I haven't seen either one of those guys age. From a boxing perspective, I mean, Terrence Crawford just stopped Sean Porter, so
Hmm.
am I supposed to say, oh, he's old now? He did something no one else has done. I can't
Hmm.
say I'm not. We this look. There's no excuses in this fight. All this, there's no excuses. No one.
That's true. There's no
None.
excuses anymore.
No excuses.
No
Zero.
excuses.
Um, but to add to what you asking, Will Murphy, uh, I think more than ring rust being a factor in this fight, I feel like level of opposition is going to play a factor in this fight.
Mm.
I feel level of opposition is going to play a factor in this fight because For instance, right? Uh, Look at the Kell Brook fight between both fighters, right? When Errol Spence was having some issues with Kell Brook in the beginning of the fight, where Kell Brook was winning some rounds, he found a way through that in a hostile crowd, 30,000 against him. You know, he found his way through that. You can't you can't pay for that kind of experience to go through. You know, where you've dealt with uh adversity in your fights and you find a way to come through it. Now, if I was to say any adversity with Terrence Crawford, I'd have to go to the knockdown with the not the knockdown, when he was hurt by Gamboa, because quiet as kept, he was more hurt against Gamboa than he was against Mean Machine. He
Yeah.
was visibly hurt, leg stanky, leaning forward, switched back into southpaw, backing up and retreating. Um, but the
Oh man,
thing
that's
is,
hilarious.
but the thing is, because his endurance is so great, like when Floyd took that shot from Mosley, he was able to recover quick. And with a fighter like Gamboa, who was a lot shorter than him, uh, and then Terrence Crawford went southpaw, switched up, and fucked up all of Gamboa's timing and everything, and he was able to keep him on the outside with all of that reach he had. He
Exactly.
was able to prevail. But the thing is, the version of Gamboa that he fought wasn't on the same level of the version of the Kell Brook that Errol Spence fought during adversity.
Hmm.
Because this guy's coming off a layoff and he's moving up in weight. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, GGG," you know. Look, I'm tired of hearing about the Kell Brook GGG shit because they threw in the towel before, you know. And I always say this, and people are just so emotional they don't really use their brains to think. So you're gonna tell me a guy who was the biggest puncher at 160, who was knocking out pure natural 160 pounders. Kell Brook moves up, fights this guy, right? And never gets knocked down or is never knocked out on his feet because his towel, as soon as his corner, as soon as they saw him starting to get into real trouble, they threw the towel in. See, a person could get their eye socket broken from a jab. You get hit with a right-handed jab. It only takes one punch. It doesn't mean that GGG was just exploding on this guy to the point where his eye socket broke and then they threw in a towel. Kell Brook eye socket broke in earlier rounds. I think his eye socket was fractured in like the second or the third round. The fight was stopped in the fifth round. And he wasn't taking major blows to his eye when they stopped it. He was starting to get beat up and they threw the towel in, so he didn't take too much of a beating and he could go back down and be a champion at 147. So uh you go back and watch the Kell Brook fight, it's clear and it's easy to see that Kell Brook, for one, had way higher punch resistance when he fought Errol Spence than when he fought Terrence Crawford.
True.
So to me, it's like this for all the people who want to compare to win. So you telling me that Terrence Crawford hit Kell Brook harder than GGG hit Kell Brook? That's what you're telling me. Or or you know, Terrence Crawford landed a well-timed shot. But if you take a look, I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'm glad, that's the great thing about having your own channel. I'm gonna see if I can find it because, and I'm gonna unshare the screen while I do it. Just give me a second. Yeah. Uh, if we take a look where he was hit, uh, Kell Brook, where Terrence Crawford hit Kell Brook, it was the same damaged orbital area. That's why he almost flew out the ring.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can find a clip of it. They're like, everyone's like, "Oh, it was a hook. It was a hook jab hybrid. No, it was a it was basically a lead right hand, but Kell Brook ran into it. It was a well
Yeah,
timed shot, and he ran into it. And Bud is
and I made
strong, and Bud
because
caught him right. And he didn't catch him on the chin. He caught him right above his, like in between the bridge of his nose and above his mouth. And he almost flew out
it
the
was
ring.
right. It was right on that area. The areas that got broken. Right. It was
Yep.
perfectly right in the sensitive spot.
Yep. Let me see if I can find it. Crawford, Brook, knockout.
I always thought who would have won prime Kill versus prime Keith Thurman. I always wondered who would have won that one.
That would have been a good fight. That would have
That
been a
would have been
good
a good
fight.
one.
That
Because I
that would have been a good
always would
fight.
think that would have. Because I thought that the size and Kell Brook's big punches would cause Keith Thurman problems, but I thought looks from Keith Thurman.
Let me see. I'm gonna try to find it because I don't want a whole lot of I don't want the copyright shit. I'm gonna just try to find the moment. But it's gonna be a great fight, man. It's gonna be a great fight because Errol Spence is he's gonna. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to make it sound like he fights one way, but in terms of saying like he fights one way, he's going to throw a lot of punches.
Yeah.
All right, I found the spot, but I want to see if I can get it on replay first to see where to show y'all where the punch was landed. Oh no, they just showing him wailing on his ass. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna take the copyright chance. But yeah, actually, if you take a look, I mean, it was a hybrid. It wasn't a hybrid punch. It was a lead right hand out of the southpaw position, and Kell Brook ran into it, and he got caught right in between the bridge of his. If you put your hand, if you put your hand between the bridge of your nose and your cheek, you tell me if that's not your orbital bone down there. So I mean, this guy also Kell Brook hadn't fought at that weight class in 3.5 years too. You know, everyone was saying, you know, he drained himself to fight Errol Spence, and he fought at 154 for the next 3.5 years. So we all know if you know something about boxing, it's evident to know that if you lose too much weight, it fucks with your punch resistance. And we seen Kell Brook take big shots, way bigger shots than that, way bigger shots than that in his career. You know, but you know what? He fought. He took the fight. Uh, and you know, got to give Terrence Crawford all the kudos in the world. Because see, what I'm gonna tell you, what I'm not gonna do is I'm not going to diminish Terrence Crawford's achievements, achievements and attributes because I don't want no one to take the credit away from Earl Spence for beating a great fighter. So I'm going to call Terrence Crawford a great fighter leading all the way up to this because after Errol Spence dismantles him, I'm going to be able to say that Errol Spence beat a great fighter.
Yeah.
And and you know, anyone who's gonna go, well, that's not true. I can't say anyone because Rocky's in the Hall of Fame, but you know, based on what Terrence Crawford has done in his career, he does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So you know, we can't call him like not a good fighter. But I just feel like the experience of who he's fought in the ring in his big fights is going to play a major part in this fight.
Well, some will say that Ricky Burns was the equivalent of Kell Brook with Errol Spence.
No. No, it wasn't. I mean, no, bro. I mean, I can't even answer questions like that. Like,
I'm
come
just
on.
playing devil's advocate.
No, I feel you. I mean, yeah, they the only thing they have in common is they was both across the pond. But other than that, there's nothing really there's nothing really to compare. And if we were to compare it, he didn't stop Ricky Burns either. He beat him. He clearly whooped him, but he ain't
Yeah,
stop him.
Earl
Earl,
Spence. Yeah,
yeah,
he was facing a seasoned veteran after a long layoff, going overseas in a hostile crowd. I mean, he really, um, yeah, he was. All the chips were stacked against him. The only thing
facts,
he say had in his favor was Kell Brook coming off of a loss, but other than that, everything else was all the chips were stacked against him.
facts, facts. I concur. So, these guys, man, is what makes this fight such a great fight is the matchup. You know, the the matchup outside of all the drama leading up to the fight, the matchup is what makes the style clash. You know, makes this a great fight, and may the best man win. Uh,
Yes, yes, sir. And then
may,
with that being
may the,
said, I'm gonna have to head off, loyal.
sure.
Try to be a little co-host for a while because I don't know where OTB went, but
I
uh,
appreciate it, man. I
yes, sir.
appreciate you rocking out with me, Lenore.
All right, man. Yeah, check up on that Cash App though. Make sure you got it.
I don't think. Let me check my. Let me see
You
my
can get it.
cash app because I don't think I saw anything. Let's see. Oh, I got something. I got something. That had to be. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, you have a good one, man.
Appreciate it, man. You too.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, man. What what do you guys in the chat think about the fight and who do y'all have and why? The link should be pinned. Uh, yeah, the link should be pinned up in here. Let me go to brands. Yeah. Who do you guys have in this fight and why? Because you can't go wrong either way. It's just a matter of, you know, what style you like the best, who you like, and you know what attributes you feel. I see. So B House, you say Earl and 10 with the win durability. I gotta agree with you, man. I gotta agree with you. I think the fight would be over. I think the fight would be over in 9 to 10 rounds. I say 9 to 10 rounds. Salute J Rod Level Up, Boxer TV. You in the building for show for show. Salute to you, Tyrone Spencer. Spence winning work rate. Okay. Well, I'll play devil's advocate. Do you think his work rate could work against him against a accurate, precise counterpuncher like Terrence Crawford? What's your thoughts on that? Uh, I believe the work rate will play a part, but his defense got to be on point. You said nope. Okay, okay, all right. Well, his defense got to be on point. Man, 'cause, I mean this gonna be huge, man. And I think also the fact of Errol Spence being calm in big moments, because mentally he's been tested from just making his return to the sport from the car accident mentally to hop back in there in the ring with someone, who's I'll say Danny Garcia was known as a big puncher, but I didn't have him as a big puncher at 147. 140, yes, 147, no. But just to hop back in the ring with, a world class fighter, because Danny Garcia definitely is a world class fighter. Uh, so, Terrence Crawford going through everything he's been through in his life. Two mentally strong dudes, man. This 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 gonna be the fight. Will says I have Spence by stoppage around 10. I know you probably meant rounds, round 10. Or Bomac stopping to save Bud for a rematch. His eye was swollen early against Brook. I think his eye gets hurt and he gets caught by clean shots he can't see. Okay. Yep. I believe it's gonna go to the ninth or the 10th round. And only I pick the ninth round only because I feel Terrence Crawford physically is smaller than a Udenis Ugas, and the accumulation of the punishment because he's physically a smaller guy is going to take a toll on him earlier. Because even when Ugas got cracked with some big shots, you never see him buckle or anything. You see him cover his face when he got hit with some really hard uppercuts, but you never really seen him buckle. And I just think physically Terrence Crawford's going to break down. Let's see. Oh, you say doctor. Oh, I see. You say doctor or Bomac stops because of damage he's taken. I can see that. I can see that. That's gonna be tough though, because I know Bomac loved Terrence Crawford. He loved Bud. Like past being a fighter, just as a human being. So I wonder how Bomac would take it if he see him taking that punch, because Bomac has a lot of pride, and I don't think Bomac would feel comfortable throwing the towel in during this fight. That's just me personally. And I don't see Terrence Crawford being the type to look at Bomac and say, okay, turn the towel in. I think Terrence Crawford would want to fight to the death. So I think it would have to go down to the doctor. I don't know if Bomac would throw the towel in. All right. Tyrone Spencer says, I feel the level of competition has prepared Spence for this moment when Crawford has done nothing except beat Porter at welterweight. I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you. I'd have to agree with you. And there's a more meaningful story to Earl's journey to this point too, especially with the car accident and rebounding from that and coming back from something like that and bringing yourself back to a high level. You know, I think there's just one guy's path to this moment has been more of an internal uh, path of I would say, you know, destiny and trials and tribulations, and I think the other guy's path and Terrence Crawford has been basically just built to me built off of ego and wanting to beat this guy because me personally, I just feel like they've always been kind of jealous of Earl Spence and wanted to be in his position in terms of getting the big fights and having the notoriety that he had and how he got it so quickly when they came basically out of the mud and worked their way all the way up there. So again, man, I'm so excited for this fight, man. I just can't wait, man. I just can't wait. Oh, Travion, I wouldn't expect you to understand it. You can barely spell. Said he will want to continue, but Bomac will do it to save him for a rematch and try to save him taking too much damage. Uh, maybe. I just can't see Bomac throwing a towel in. I mean, I I know I got some old heads in here. We ever saw that movie Bloodsport with Van Damme at the end where he made dude say uncle. That's what that would be like. Like Bomac throwing in the towel would be worse than Bud Crawford actually getting knocked out. That would be if Bomac throws in the towel, there is no rematch. If Bomac throws in the towel, if it's to that point, because Bud is a mentally strong dude. If you're at the point where Bomac throws in a towel and it's necessary. Bud is beaten up very badly, and we've seen everybody that Earl Spence has fought after they've been broken down how they look in fights going forward. So you said Derek James won't stop. So Trey says Derek James won't stop it. You see Marcus Brown, LOL. He might throw it in for for Spence. He care about him too much. Okay, okay. I mean that's fair. All right, here we go. J Rod level up. I got someone saying Bud in 8 or 9. He's got too much movement for Spence, and I honestly think he's stronger than Spence. He's been in too many vulnerable situations that Bud Norman will capitalize on and finish you. Okay. I mean, I'll respect what you're saying. I don't agree with it. I respect you saying 8 or 9. I don't agree with he's got too much movement. Now, Terrence Crawford fights Earl Spence the way he fought Victor Postol, then that'd be a different story. But at welterweight, he don't have that much movement. To me, I haven't seen all this movement you're talking about. I haven't seen it. And you said honestly, you think he's stronger than Spence. That remains to be seen. I don't. He could be. I don't see it though. I haven't seen Bud break anyone. I mean, I haven't seen Bud break anyone's bones. You know, this is an ongoing thing with Errol Spence. Uh, breaking people's bones. So I mean, but I don't know. He could be. I think Bud is a more sharper puncher than Errol Spence. I think I think that his punches are sharper and they're more accurate. Like they're accurate and sharp with his timing, and that's what makes him. And he's strong, and that's what makes him knock these guys out because he's strong and he's sharp. But I don't. Is he stronger than Spence? That remains to be seen. I don't know. He could be. I mean, I don't know. God, he's strong. We'll have to see. Uh, and then you said he's been in too many vulnerable situations that Bud normally capitalizes on. Like what? Because I know you talk about the mouthpiece. Because because I'm like, what vulnerable situations that Bud would capitalize on other than the mouthpiece? I mean, listen, let's use common sense for a second, right? Errol Spence is in the accident. I mean, the entire boxing world knows he has new teeth, right? He has a lucky mouthpiece that was for his original teeth, and he never got his mouthpiece fixed for his new set of teeth after the accident. And the shot Ugas hit Errol Spence with to knock his mouthpiece out wasn't a big shot. You saw the shit just come flying out his mouth. So I mean, now him following the mouthpiece like he did against Danny Garcia and looking for it on the ground and shit, I don't have no qualms against that because you can't do that against Terrence Crawford. But Errol Spence has a chin too. He took that shot that he didn't see, and he took it. He basically took it blind, and his legs weren't going. So I mean, I don't, I don't know. It's not like Errol's. I mean, Terrence Crawford has power, but it's not like a lot of you guys act like every time he lands a punch, he's gonna hurt you, and that's not accurate. He has to hit you with the right punch in the right place to hurt you. He doesn't have the type of power where, like with Earl, where he just like punching through your high guard and breaking ribs while people's defenses up, giving black eyes and stuff. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But I definitely respect your point of view on that though. Will says, I think the dog and Bud will make him stand there and try to trade. I agree. I agree. I agree. And you know what? When I watched him fight Sean Porter, there was a moment in the fight where Sean Porter got off a little bit, and Bud, I saw Bud snap into that mode of like wanting to trade. It's that shit is in him. It's in him, and I smiled when I saw it because if you do that with Earl Spence, he gonna have a long fucking night. Might be a short one, but it's gonna be a painful one. J Rod Spence is breaking fighters' bones because he's fighting fighters that stand in front of you. He hasn't fought anyone that moves like Bud. Okay. Um. So Kell Brook just stood in front of Terrence. I mean, Kell Brook just stood in front of Errol Spence. He just, he just stood there. He just said, Kell Brook, because every time we watch Kell Brook, he just goes in the pocket and he sits there and trades with all his opponents because that's the fight that's what we see. That's not, I mean, because that's not accurate. That's not accurate. Uh, there was another guy that Errol Spence broke his jaw. Let me see if I can find that. He broke his jaw and his ribs. Uh, that was Nacho Berestein's fighter. And he ain't stand in front of him. Errol Spence has been a big puncher like that ever since he was in the amateurs, bro. It's interesting. What's really interesting to me is people say, okay, well, Errol Spence, he fights one way, but he keeps fighting. He keeps fighting people who fight different ways and beats them in different ways. I don't think, Ugas. I'll give you a pass on the Ugas saying he's standing in front of you because I said before that fight, Ugas has no bicycle and he was going to get fucked up because he was going to wind up staying there. Uh, and Ugas is good at what he does, but Ugas didn't fight Triple G before he fought Errol Spence. He ain't never had nothing broken on him before. So just saying. All right, you said could be right about the teeth thing. I don't know, but Ugas also hit Spence with a couple shots after that rang his bell. I seen Ugas hit Spence with a couple body shots that I was shocked that had an effect on him. But I didn't see any shots that rang Spence's bell to the point where it was like, oh, his bell was rang and it was obvious. I didn't see Ugas saying any of that. Only one that rang his bell was the one that led up to before the mouthpiece. He hit Spence with something, and we actually saw Spence like go backwards, and then they were trading on the inside, and Ugas hit him, and the mouthpiece came out, and all of that. And for me to see Spence go backwards like that, get hit in between shots, the mouthpiece comes out, and then gets hit with a clean shot, and he still has all his bearings, and his legs was all there, and he wasn't hurt. Man, that's a tough motherfucker to beat, man. I can't believe that Crawford's just gonna land something. Anything he lands is just gonna hurt him. He gonna have to land the right punch to hurt Errol Spence. There's two punches with Terrence Crawford that worry me with Errol Spence, but I won't say it. He got two of them that worry me. But if those two punches aren't landed, good night. Let's see. Okay, well, you talking to J Rod. Big Tony, salute to you, Big Tony. Says Spence has a style that no other boxer is using in this era. It's a punishing style. Spence will beat the will out of Bud. The fight will be stopped between 7th and 9th for Spence. That would be major. If it's between the 7th and the 9th, that'd be major. I say 9 to 10, but I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked with that, Big Tony. And the reason I say I wouldn't be shocked with what you're saying is because I just feel like these motherfuckers is gonna fight. Like after like the first 3 rounds, round 1 and 2 are feeling out. Spence gonna be throwing shit, and Bud gonna throw shit back at him for throwing shit at him. And Spence like to be in that type of shit, like that type of war. So I mean, man, it's just thinking about it gets me excited, man. Just think about this fight. This is the one. I could tell. This is gonna be the one. Yep, Spence definitely does have a solid chin. Saying the way they're being trained has nothing to do with it. It's the way they fight. I don't know if you're responding to someone else with that. Spence has shown a granite chin unless his punch resistance disappears overnight. I don't see Crawford. I gotta agree with you, but I can't say that because again, right? to a certain extent, I agree, but to a certain extent, Terrence Crawford, he's he's accurate. The punches that he knocks people out with or gets them hurt with, they're punches that are like right on the button. And for anyone that can happen, that could put a person in trouble. Because we seen Spence against Larte, where he got, I mean, he fought, and I had a lot of respect for him in there, because a lot of people don't talk about that fight, because people are so caught up in, oh, this person got hurt or that person got hurt, they can't really talk about the actual fight. But against Emmanuel Larte, when Spence got clipped at the end of the seventh round, it was an 8-round fight. And the only round in that fight that Errol Spence lost was the 8th round, because he had to. I saw it. He slowed down a little bit after he got clipped by Larte, but I saw a level of dog. If any of you guys go back and look at Errol Spence versus Emmanuel Larte, and if you don't want to watch the whole fight, just watch. Fast forward to round 7 and watch round 8. It was an 8-round fight, and he got hurt at the end of the 7th. And then watch how Spence fought in the 8th round, and you'll see what I'm saying. So I can't say for a fact if he loses all his punch resistance, because Bud could hurt you, man. If he hits you in the right spot, motherfucker, Spence could get his bell ring. Without a doubt, it can happen. This motherfucker, he's strong. Bud is strong. This is a guy that lived like a fighter all his fucking career. Ain't many breaks for him. He's mentally strong and he's physically strong. He one of them skinny, wiry motherfuckers that's strong. So I can't say that. If he could ring Spence's bell, I can't tell because Porter was on that ass. This is how I know you don't know shit about boxing, Travion. But let me just address that real quick, Travion. This is comments like this and the shit y'all said for the last 4 years. This is what makes me so confident about y'all getting your ass whooped, because y'all sitting there talking about the Sean Porter fight, where everyone and their mama know that those are some of his worst performances, because he wasn't even taking boxing seriously. He was partying. So I really hope that y'all are prepared for that version of Earl Spence y'all saw against Sean Porter on November 19th. I pray to God that's who you preparing for. That guy, the one Porter was on his ass and all. That guy. I pray to God that's who y'all going for. You know what I'm saying? I hope so. Ain't no excuse. I'm just talking some real shit. I hope that y'all prep for that guy. I hope y'all prep for it. Well, I don't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. See, because I'm looking at your comments, right? You talk about we have all those excuses in the world. That's not a good look. Well, wasn't it from y'all camp? Uh, from Bomac, who called that man a drunk before that. So now all of a sudden he wasn't partying and drinking. We remember when uh the guy Nate, what's the guy that worked for Floyd, who wears the bodysuit and takes the punches. Floyd, he was the first guy who came out and talked about Earl partying. Bomac said that all the partying and drinking that Earl Spence did permanent damage to his organs that couldn't be reversed. Now all of a sudden, now it's an excuse now, right? See, the narrative got to fit y'all all the time. The narrative got to fit y'all. But it's okay, because none of that's going to matter once they get in the ring. What I say and what you say ain't going to matter. What happened in the Sean Porter fight ain't going to matter. It ain't going to matter. Because, I mean, if you want to bring up the Sean Porter fight, your uncle wasn't doing that great until the knockout, because why are people telling him in the corner that he's down? Or if it wasn't his corner, why is anyone telling him that he's down going into the 10th round if he did such a great dominating job? So, hey, I don't think the difference between you guys and Earl Spence team is that Earl Spence team is not going to look at how Bud fought Sean Porter and base the way that they train and approach Terrence Crawford based off how he fought Sean Porter. They're gonna be prepared, and your uncle's smart enough to know to be prepared for the best version of Earl Spence. And Spence is smart enough to be prepared to know to be prepared for the best version of Terrence Bud Crawford. And all the shit that happened before this, none of that shit is gonna matter. Zero. Zero. And Travion, I'm here for you too, man. If you need to talk after that ass whooping happened, I'm here to talk. I mean, I ain't gonna give you my number. No, you can reach out to me, through Facebook Messenger or something. But what I'll do is I'll make sure I have a good list of psychotherapists for you, because I mean it's gonna be like when you found out that there was no such thing as a tooth fairy. When you see your uncle get his ass whipped by Earl, that's what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be real. I'm telling you guys, out chat, it's gonna be real rough for Travion, because Travion believes his uncle is better than Floyd Mayweather. He's openly said this. So to see his uncle lose, I don't know what it's gonna do to. I don't know what it's gonna do to him, man. He he might stop playing basketball. Let's see. The question no one is asking is how Crawford will react to Spence power. He's never been in the ring with anyone that punches like that. I agree. I agree. Yeah, there are flaws in both. That's correct. He gonna look at his uncle the same after he lose, like he love him the same. But Travion believes his uncle is invincible. That's what I'm talking about. That's how he ain't gonna look at him the same, because he believes his uncle's invincible. Floyd knows Spence gonna lose, LOL, and he with PBC, so who cares? Yeah, I know. More narrative. I know Floyd. Floyd knows everything. Floyd has a crystal ball. He has power, but he stopped one person in 4 years. Oh, hey man, hey, you know what? Trey? Hey man, you right. Everything you saying is right, man. He don't have no power. He stopped one person in 4 years. Uh, you know, and I tell you one thing. If if this is if this is y'all logic for why y'all gonna win, man, y'all gonna have a rough fucking night, man. Y'all gonna have a rough night. Most of the boxing public, this last fight for Errol Spence against Ugas is why a lot of people who were thinking that Terrence Crawford was going to win have went and changed back their decision to Spence winning the fight. Because if we would have seen uh a performance like against Sean Porter again, against Ugas, or uh you know Mikey or something like that, then people would have been like, yeah, Spence, Bud got it. But mm-mm. I mean, look, man, I just hope man, Trey, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, tell your uncle to have a million when he gets stopped too. Tell him to have a million when he gets stopped too. They both made a bet. Let's see if he pay up. Since allegedly y'all ain't getting no guarantee money, let's see if he pay up. Let's see what else we got going on here in the chat, man. I like answering some of these questions. All right, exactly. The truth is, you see more flaws in Bud. I see more flaws in Spence. I'm not counting who I see more flaws in to win this fight. I don't think it's. I don't think it's that. I don't think that either one of them have such a substantial amount of flaws that they're flaws like supersedes the other. I don't see that. I see it. They're both really good fighters. That we got spoiled when we saw Floyd Mayweather. Not everyone's perfect. Not everyone doesn't get hit most of the fight. I don't see a whole lot of flaws in both of these guys. These guys are two top level pound for pound elite fighters, and it's going to come down to a matchup of styles and who's uh who has the better game plan and who executes the game plan the best. I think I feel like Spence is going in there better equipped with his corner than Bud. I feel like the difference is Spence and his corner is on the same page, and I feel like Bud in his corner, and I'm talking specifically about Bomac, will be on the, same page, but it's normally the best. It's normally more on Bud though. It's normally more based around Bud's skill level, Bud's ring IQ. It's like they're telling him to be himself instead of giving him proper instruction. And what I'm nervous about with Bomac is when Bomac looks out there and sees that Bud is not able to be himself, what instruction is he going to give him? Travion, listen, Travion. I don't expect you can't spell. I don't expect you to understand me. I don't base myself on whether you can understand me because you don't understand basic shit. Bud, Bud is 95% of everything in that corner. So the question is, when they see Bud in a situation that he's not normally in, it's gonna be more on Bud to fix that, I think, than the corner. I don't think the corner could give him much because I haven't seen the corner be able to give other guys much when they're in situations that they shouldn't be in. So, uh, like I said, the only thing I see is in this fight, the two ways I see this fight going, and this is my personal opinion. I see Spence. My prediction is a very similar fight to the Kell Brook fight. Terrence Crawford's going to have some success boxing. Might catch Earl with some good shots, but if those shots don't stop Earl Spence in his tracks or hurt Earl Spence in his tracks, I see Terrence Crawford taking a massive beating and getting broken down and getting stopped. Just too much of an accumulation of a beating. Now on the flip side, if Terrence Crawford is to win the fight, I had Terrence Crawford catching Earl Spence with something that he doesn't see that hurts him, you know, something clean that hurts him, and getting him out of there. Either way, from both of my predictions, I see a knockout in this fight coming from either side. I I'm gonna go with Earl. He's the bigger guy, stronger guy. Uh, I think he's also has when I say more experience in big moments, because people are gonna say, well, how so? Terrence Crawford had more titles. He fought Ricky Burns. He fought uh, you know, these other guys, Ndongo and Postal and Horn and all these, and he got all these titles. So by default, he got more fights than Earl, but he had more experience. But I believe Earl has better experience in terms of being in pressure situations on the big stage because of his Olympic pedigree and him fighting internationally as an amateur too. And seeing that he's always been his temperament going into fights have always been pretty even keel, even watching him go over there and fight in Kell Brook. So if Terrence Crawford is not able to hurt Errol Spence, It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. And you know what? I don't want to see either one of these guys, as human beings, because they got families to take, be damaged in the ring or take damage or whatever the case. But you know what? This is the game and the life that they chose, and they gonna get paid handsomely to go in there and do what they do. So, hey, it is what it is, and let the best man win. And on that note, I appreciate you guys chiming in, rocking out with me. Uh, Definitely appreciate uh, Lenore. I appreciate Team Crawford who was in here, and all my other supporters that's always in here supporting me. Always appreciate you guys, man. Stay loyal to the game, and I'm gonna catch you guys real soon.